Good morning. This is Christine Williams with the Soulful Gill, and it is June the 29th, 2018, and we're here together enjoying the morning and having a cup of something and creating a cup of glow. I hope you'll take a minute. You're getting ready for the day, pour something up, and get ready for a beautiful thought for the day that will give you encouragement and excitement and something to look forward to, I hope. Today I'm using, and I felt the last few days have been go in the community, self, people that I've talked to in our world. I felt like we just need to feel that extra protection that just makes us feel safe. And so I decided to pull from Archangel Michael, who is the archangel of safety and protection of the world, of our earth. Very strong, dynamic archangel, and one that I always like to carry with me, especially as a woman and someone who has often felt like I was in the line of fire, as many of you have, but often feeling without protection other than my spiritual helpers. Now I know there's many kinds of protection, and we can call upon those types. Physical protection, there's all we all know what that means, but I'm more interested in the spiritual protection. That's my gig. That's where I feel the safest, and that's what I like to do. So I thought I would call on Michael today. Okay, so for those who have pulled cards, you know that when there's a jumping card, that basically means cards fall out of the deck, you're shuffling through them, and all of a sudden one just jumps out. Anyway, two cards jumped out. And so I have to honor that. And they were really awesome cards, and I felt that they very much went together. So we're going to talk about those two cards today as we think about the day ahead of us. And it's so interesting. It really fits in with my thoughts last night, because I was thinking, wow, I I've talked about doing this YouTube channel for couple years, and more specifically, just the last little while. And one of my friends said, "Well, why don't you do it? Why don't you do it? Why haven't you done it?" And like all the rest of my great ideas, I don't know. I just didn't follow through. I guess I wasn't committed to it. So I was thinking about that as I was driving home. And it's so easy to do something for a little bit and then not do it again, because we maybe are not committed to it. We haven't pulled that energy and said, okay, I am going to do this. And so I thought to myself last night, that's kind of what I said to my friend and to myself when she challenged me to follow through with this cup of glow morning moment. And I thought, well, that means I'm getting up every morning and doing this, and maybe no one is even listening. But that's not the point. It doesn't matter if anybody listens, even if I'm the only listener, that this is for me, and that I followed through. I followed through with something. I put something into motion. I had it first as a thought, then I wrote it down, I created it, and then I put action towards it. And as I come to it with passion, compassion, and hope and understanding, hopefully it might go forward and others might be able to participate with me. So I made a commitment to do that. Well, so this morning, the two jumping cards, the one that comes out first is make a commitment. And I'm like, oh, yep, that's what it is. It's being committed to something. And what are you committed to today? What are you thinking about that is in your world that needs a little bit more commitment, a little bit more attachment to it? And we talk about not being attached. This is totally different. This has to do with the power of creation. This has to do with fortitude and follow through. So let me just find this page here and read this little piece of information because I think it's very helpful. If I were doing a reading for you, I wouldn't do that, but because I'm just giving information and passing on a beautiful oracle, I want to read through, if I can find it. No, I'm looking in the wrong place, that's why I'm not finding it. Always helps to look in the right place, right? Okay, so what does it mean? What does it mean to make a commitment? You drew this card because you're asking about how to improve a situation. Archangel Michael advises you to fully commit to your desired outcome. Fully commit to your desired outcome. If you're tentative or unsure if you're desiring or worthy enough, then the final result will be unsatisfactory. However, by making a commitment, you'll help spark movement in your life. Okay, so I'm kind of like that old guy in Big Fat Greek Wedding that's the father, the Greek father, that always likes to take the root word and create a meaning. So I look at the word commitment. And come, the first word is to come. And to make a commitment is meaning to come to something with full intention. Coming to something with full intention of seeing it through, attaching yourself to it, marrying yourself to an idea, being willing to see it through to the end. That is a really big thought. And, people don't like to do that anymore. It's really interesting how we just like to kind of hang back so that we can have our cake and eat it too. And, there's reasons for pulling back. There's reasons for not totally moving forward with something. But in that, we lose that ability or that desire or that energy that comes with making a total commitment. So what do you need to come to with full intention and energy so that you can have a really beautiful outcome? That's what I'm going to ask you today. Think about that. What do you need to come to with full energy and full intention? Committing yourself to it, marrying yourself to an idea, promising yourself. Things happen, things can change. We all know that. It's a no-brainer. But be willing to come to it. And then I pulled the trust, honor and trust your feelings card. Because in order to make a commitment, we have to really have some strong feelings about something, right? Like it has to be very important. It has to be soul and gut important in order to commitment. Now that's to commit to it. That's the kind of commitment I'm talking about. To something big. It's easy to say, oh yeah, I'll meet with you later. We'll have dinner. I commit. I promise I'll be there. Da da da. Little stuff. But we're talking about big stuff, big life stuff. So honor and trust your feelings. What have your intuitive feelings been? What is it that you're just not listening to inside of yourself? We get really good at ignoring ourselves, or people will call that procrastination. I just call it putting duct tape over your higher self's mouth so that you don't have to follow through, right? Because it's scary and it means we have to do something. Oh, for heaven's sakes, honor and trust your feelings. Archangel Michael urges you to look inward and listen, for this card is a sign that your feelings are accurately tuned in to the truth. Some of these feelings may be uncomfortable to face, thus procrastination. Yet they're yet they're with you for an important reason. If you're conflicted, sit down with pen and paper and conduct an interview. Now that's a thought, isn't it? Interview yourself with an emotional self with your emotional self by asking, what are you feeling? Why? What would you like me to do? Your feelings will speak loudly and clearly if you open an eye and mind to trust and trust to hear. Respect your inner voice. The most powerful person in your life besides your creator is your inner voice. And we need to respect it as a powerful life force that is connected to the divine. Often God and angels answer your prayers and offer you guidance through your physical and emotional feelings. If you say, oh, it's just a feeling, oh, I had a thought, you're ignoring vital divine assistance. This card reminds you to listen, really listen to your feelings. So, if you have something that's been calling to you from your inner soul, and you just keep saying, well, that thought just keeps flying around in my mind and blah, 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 but I'm not going to listen to it because, I can see from the past that no good's going to come from that thought, and blah, blah, blah. We're not honoring our higher self. We're not honoring our contracts that are trying to manifest. We're not honoring them. And then, because we're not honoring them, we don't commit. We don't commit to do something, to follow through with something in order to create something great. That is part of our life story. So, listen and honor your feelings, and then commit to yourself. Come to it with full intention that you are going to do something, and then do it. That's your quest for today. Make a commitment. That might be hard to think about, but we're getting in a funny way in our society now. Nobody wants to commit. It's just easy to text a smiley face or a thumbs up, right? And get away with being indecisive and halfway in. How about taking one foot out of the door and putting both feet in the house of your life? And don't be afraid to commit to it. Commit to you. Commit to your dreams. Make a commitment today. Cup of Glow.